Good morning, students. Biology for class 10, and topic is going on heredity and evolution. In last class, I have explained you about the sex determination in human being. Till now in this chapter, I have explained you about what is heredity, what is genetics, who is Mendel, who is known as the father of genetics, what was Mendel's experiment, and what are the laws of inheritance. In today's class, I'm going to explain you about the sex determination. Sex determination on which the environment effect means the sex is determined by the environment and what are acquired and inherited traits. In last class, I explained you the sex determination in human being. Then I had told you that what are sex chromosomes. Okay. So in human being, there are the 23 pair of chromosomes are present in every cell, and in reproductive cell there are 22 pairs are autosomes and one pair is sex chromosomes. 22 are autosomes and one pair is sex chromosomes. Sex chromosome means the chromosomes which determine the sex of a child. In male, the sex chromosomes are X and Y, and in female, the sex chromosomes are X and X. So during the gamete formation in male, the sperms will be of X type or Y type and the eggs will be always of X type. So when X sperm fertilize the egg, then the sex of the child, then the baby will be a girl. And when the Y sperm fertilize the egg, then the baby will be a boy. So in human being, the sex of the child is determined by the type of sperm. Is it of X type or Y type? Now, in some organism, the sex is not determined by the genes. It is determined by the environment. This type of environment is around them. Like the best example is the turtle. If the turtle's eggs are hatched, hatches in the cool environment, means the temperature is low. That time all the turtles, the baby turtle, the sex of the baby turtle will be the male. Okay, so if the eggs are hatches in the coolness, then the turtles will be all male. If the egg of the turtles are hatched in a warmness, means the temperature is more, that time all the turtles will be a female. So here you can see, students, the sex of the turtle is not determined by the genes. It is determined by the which type of environment is there. Is it a cool or it is warm? Means depending on the temperature. Another example is the alligator. In American alligator, if the eggs are hatched in the cool and warm nest, means the temperature is below 25 or above 33, then all the baby alligator will be female. Okay, so if the eggs are hatched in a cool and warm nest, then the baby alligator will be female. And if the temperature is in intermediate, means between these two temperature, then what would happen? That all the baby alligator will be the male. So here also you can see the sex of the organism is depending on the temperature. It is not determined by the genes. Clear? One more example is that is snails. The snails, whether it will be a male or female, based on the environment, they can change their sex. Okay, so the sex of the snail is not determined by their genes, it is determined by the environment. So students, till now you can understand how the sex of the organism determined, like in a human being, it is determined by the sex chromosome, and in some organisms like turtle, then alligator, it is determined by the temperature. Now, one important topic of this chapter, it is acquired and inherited traits. Traits means characteristics. Now, what's the mean by acquired and inherited? The traits or a characteristics. An organism which is not inherited, of an organism which is not inherited but develops in response to the environment, each called an acquired trait. Means the trait which is not um, from the birth. It is a person is developing during his or her lifespan. Like a simple example, I want to tell you. Maybe your parents have not studied in an English medium school, but now you are studying in an English medium school. Okay, so as the medium in English, obviously you have to learn the English. Means you know how to speak, how to read, how to write, and you develop a skill that is speaking skill. Okay, speaking English. So it is a trait which you have acquired. You have learned this. Similarly, some students can play the football very well, some can swim. Maybe the parents are not knowing, or maybe some skills are there which your parents are knowing, but you are not knowing. Means you have not developed that. So that is the traits or characteristics which an organism is developing in his or her lifespan. Okay, they are called acquired traits, and acquired traits cannot be passed on to the future generation. The examples: knowledge of doing something or any characteristics which was caused due to the environmental factors and not present by the birth. Here you can see some kids are playing the football, so they are developing a trait, means a skill that they can play the football. Another trait, and a trait of an organism which is caused by a change in its DNA or genes, is called an inherited trait. And these traits are present from the birth, means they are passed from the parents to the offspring. You can see like the hair color, like you can see the curls, you can see their tongue. They can curl their tongue. You also check, can you? Okay, so this type of traits which pass from one generation to another, they are called inherited traits. So a trait of an organism which is caused by a change in its DNA or genes, it is called an inherited trait. And these are the characteristics which we receive from our parents. Okay, only these traits can be just transmitted to the future generation. The traits which are bring a change in the DNA, that only pass from one generation to another generation. I want to give you one example. Like there is a mouse, and cut the tail of the mouse. Okay, and what would happen? Will the next generation of the mouse will have a cut tail? No. Why? Because when the mouse tail has been cut, it does not bring any change in the genes. So this type of trait does not pass from one generation to another generation. Understood, student? So the changes which bring any change in the genes or DNA, that changes only pass from one generation to another generation, and they are called inherited trait. So students, in today's class, I explained you about the um, sex determination on which the environmental factor which depend on the environmental factor. Then I explained you about the acquired and inherited trait. Have a nice day, students. Stay at home and develop some skills. It's a great time you got to develop the skill, but the talent you are having. Give some time to yourself, to your positive points and develop some good skills.